welcome to Taiwan for the first ever event of Audi RE LMS Cup here at the Taipei International Circuit.
The 3.527 kilometre Penn Bay International Circuit was first opened in October 2011. It features 16 turns, 9 left-hand corners, 7 right-hand corners and a clockwise rotation. So at the close of the pole shootout, it was Eduardo Mortara who would claim pole position ahead of a very impressive Marchi Lee, Frankie Cheng and Alex Jung. And it's the youngsters Thomas Fjordbach and Aditya Patel on row 3, local star Jeffrey Lee and Johnson Huang, the leading AM class driver. With points leader Rahel Frey committed in Germany this weekend, Audi DTM star Eduardo Mortara took over the reins of the Castrol Audi R8 for the 5th round of the 2015 Audi R8 LMS Cup, the first ever event at Penn Bay International Circuit in Taiwan. Mortara claimed pole with a record time in the pole shootout, with 2012 Cup champion Marchi Lee alongside. Mortara led the field into turn 1, with Frankie Cheng getting the jump on Lee on the run out of turn 2, whilst behind them Thomas Fjordbach challenged reigning champion Alex Jung, with the two heading into turn 4 side by side. Keen to take back his second place starting position, Lee attacked Cheng on the run into turn 5 with a late braking move up the inside, but there was contact mid-corner with Cheng forced wide. Behind them Fjordbach and Jung also came into contact, the Malaysian coming off second best, dropping him down the order. The action continued into turn 6 with both J-Fly cars running deep into the corner and off the circuit. Kevin Chen ultimately tagged the tyre wall, whilst local hero Jeffrey Lee recovered and continued to charge through the field. Ultimately, Marchi Lee was given a drive-through penalty for his contact with Cheng, which dropped the former champion to the tail of the top 10, but he quickly mounted a recovery to charge back through the field. In the battle for AM-class honours, South Korean sensation Andrew Kim and Johnson Huang battled over the lead, a contest which carried on through much of the race before Kim was ultimately forced into a spin as rain began to fall on the circuit. Up front though, Mortara was untroubled, weathering an attack early from Marchi Lee, who used his push to pass to great effect to close onto the Italian's tail, before Mortara put in a blinding lap to take pole position for race 2, which is set based on the lap times of round 5. The rain was brief and had little real effect on the race, although it did force drivers to take caution. Jeffrey Lee was continuing to move through the field, the local hero working his way past reigning champion Alex Jung and onto the tail of the lead pack, before suffering a gear selection issue coming out of turn 5, which slowed his forward progress. In the end though, Mortara did everything he needed to control the pace and limit tyre wear, putting in a real masterclass of driving in the testing conditions to take the win from the recovering Frankie Cheng and the impressive Thomas Fjordbach. Whilst in the amateur division, Taiwan's Johnson Huang put in a superb drive to take his maiden victory in the Cup in front of his local fans.
But my main issue during the race was to manage a little bit the tires, which I think I did pretty well. But it was the temperatures. I was really suffering today. It's the first time in my own entire career that I'm suffering that much. And definitely it was a quite a good challenge actually today.
So victory to Edo Mortara from Frankie Cheng, Thomas Fjordbach, Aditya Patel, Marchi Lee and Stefano Montesi. And it was Alex Jung, KOU, Johnson Huang, the leading AM-class driver, and Jeffrey Lee. After claiming victory and the fastest race lap during round 5 of the championship yesterday, Eduardo Mortara would start from pole position for round 6. 2012 champion Marchi Lee would start alongside on the front row ahead of Thomas Fjordbach, Aditya Patel, Frankie Cheng, Alex Jung. Then it's Alex Au, KOU, Kimi Chin and round 6 AM-class winner Johnson Huang. Eduardo Mortara would start from pole position for round 6, which featured the first of 2 standing starts for the weekend. Mortara got away quickly, but Marchi Lee had the jump off the line. Mortara did his best to try and keep the Hong Kong driver from leading into turn 1, but ultimately that failed, the 2012 champion leading through turn 2. But whilst they battled over the top position, the fast-starting Thomas Fjordbach worked his way through from the second row of the grid to make a brilliant move inside the 2 of them into turn 3 and take the lead. Turn 5 was where the action had been all weekend, and it looked like playing a big part of the round 6 result. But despite a big lunge from Mortara, Fjordbach was able to close the door on the exit. The action continued into turn 8, with Mortara making another move on the young Danish driver, which resulted in contact, forcing Fjordbach out of the event and Mortara into the steward's office post-race. Their contact wasn't the only issue on the opening lap, with local television star Yao Yan Hao suffering a clutch problem off the start, which saw him pull to the side of the circuit, forcing an opening lap safety car intervention. For Fjordbach, it was game over, whilst for rivals Aditya Patel and Frankie Cheng, it was an opportunity to score valuable championship points. The two of them locked into a battle after the restart, a fight that continued throughout much of the race. Temperature was again the big issue, but so too tyre choice, with teams having just 2 sets of Michelin tyres for the 3 30-minute races. Some elected for new tyres in race 2, the others elected to take the advantage into the final race. Marchi Lee was locked in an epic battle with Nürburgring 24-hour teammate Alex Jung, the two going at it hard in the early laps before Marchi was forced offline looking for a way past at the notorious turn 5. In the process, he clipped the high curb on the inside, which forced him offline and back down the order. Lee's departure allowed Stefano Montesi into the equation. The series veteran was right on the tail of the leaders. Jung managed to break away from Montesi, the Italian then coming under fire from local hero Jeffrey Lee, who worked his way past and into pursuit of the reigning champion. Over the final lap, Montesi came under fire from AM class leader Kevin Chen, the J-Fly racing driver leading the amateur division comfortably and looking for a top 5 finish. But as they approached the turn 11 and 12 complex, Montesi became unsettled, allowing Chen an opportunity to make a move. Montesi defended, but it was too late for Chen, who had pulled alongside. The Taiwanese star, though, forced into a spin, allowing Alex Au through for victory. Ultimately, Frankie Cheng kept pushing Patel, forcing the Indian driver into an error over the closing laps to claim second at the line. He may have carried over 35-kilogram weight penalty from finishing second in the opening race, but Cheng claimed an emphatic victory, moving himself right back into the championship equation.
Well, it's a bit fortunate for me, and didn't expect it. And I do my best for the next round. Hopefully we have a perfect weekend in Taiwan.
So as a result of that penalty for Mortara, Frankie Cheng will take victory in round 6 ahead of Aditya Patel, Alex Jung, Stefano Montesi, a nice result, Kimi Chin, and it's KOU, Marchi Lee. Mortara has dropped back to 8th, immediately ahead of the AM class winner Alex Au, Ashraf Dewell second in AM class from Johnson Huang, Daniel Bilski, Kevin Chen, Jackie Jung and Jeffrey Lee. Grid positions were set by the championship positions, providing Audi R8 LMS Cup rookie Aditya Patel with pole position. Frankie Cheng would start alongside with Thomas Fjordbach and Alex Jung immediately behind. Then it's KOU, Eduardo Mortara, Marchi Lee, Stefano Montesi, Jeffrey Lee and Kimi Chin rounds out the 10. Then it's AM class frontrunner Daniel Bilski, Ashraf Dewell, Alex Au, Andrew Kim and Johnson Huang. After 2 gruelling races in the intense heat of Pen Bay, drivers was faced with a 3rd round of competition, another first for the Cup. Cheng got a great start, but Patel's was better, the young Indian driver leading into turn 1, whilst the fast-starting Fjordbach and reigning champion Alex Jung took advantage of the additional 35-kilogram penalty he was carrying for finishing second in round 6 to charge past the Chinese driver on the run into turn 2. Fjordbach made short work of Patel, punching his way through to the lead on the run to turn 10 before using his push to pass to open up a strong early lead. Cheng quickly fell back into the clutches of the charging Eduardo Mortara, but with the Italian still carrying his 50-kilogram weight penalty from round 6, Cheng ultimately held on to 3rd, but both of them were forced to watch Fjordbach disappear into the distance. Tyres again featured in the equation, with Cheng admitting he'd used his best rubbers for races 1 and 2, whilst Jung and Fjordbach had fresh Michelins for the final race. The AM class battle 2 was heating up. Daniel Bilski was leading a pack of 6 cars. He had Johnson Huang, who'd won round 5 immediately behind him. Andrew Kim, one of the stars in South Korea, right behind him. And not too far back, he had Ashraf Dewell, Alex Au and Kevin Chen in the equation. It got pretty heated too between Johnson Huang and Andrew Kim. KOU was in the wars too, and this wouldn't be the first time he'd figure in this race. Stefano Montesi, though, was figuring in this race. He'd been figuring all weekend and done a fantastic job. Here he is battling with the local star, Jeffrey Lee. They would carry this fight right through to the end, and in the end, it was Jeffrey that would take the position away. But Stefano had had a fantastic weekend. 4th in round 6 was a real bonus for the Italian driver. Not too many bonuses for KOU. This is parked sideways in turn 2. How he got there, we still don't know, but this brought out the safety car. We're a couple of laps to go. You can see Thomas Fjordbach going past, and that would ultimately settle this race. You can see the field bunched up behind the safety car. That was it. There were 2 laps to go. They couldn't remove KO's car in time, and Thomas Fjordbach would take a fantastic victory. Great recovery too from reigning champion Alex Jung. And 3rd place in the end would go to Frankie Cheng, who kept his championship recovery alive with a 3rd podium finish in 2 days.
I'm really nice this time because I had a good pace and I just got away in the start. And actually I saved a lot of my push to passes, so I knew if they will come, I had something in my pocket. But I'm really, really happy about all the Audi crew because I had a big accident in the race 2 earlier today, and they managed it perfect. So this I'm really happy about.
So a fantastic victory to the young Dane Thomas Fjordbach ahead of Alex Jung, Frankie Cheng, Eduardo Mortara takes fourth, Marchi Lee fifth, Aditya Patel, Jeffrey Lee, Stefano Montesi, Kimi Chin and Daniel Bilski. And it's Johnson Huang, Ashraf Dewell, Alex Au, Hao Yao and Andrew Kim. So the championship points, Aditya Patel has taken over the points lead with 80 points. Thomas Fjordbach, his title rival, 76. And it's Frankie Cheng and Alex Jung mounting a fantastic recovery to get back into this championship hunt. Rahel Frey holds position 5 ahead of Eduardo Mortara, Marchi Lee, JK Verne, KOU and Stefano Montesi. Taiwan's Jeffrey Lee is in position 11 ahead of Kimi Chin, Rio Fukuda, Daniel Bilski and Ashraf Dewell. So after a fantastic event, the first ever event in Taiwan at Penbay International Circuit, we saw the 2 young chargers at the front of the field. They're leading this championship, Patel and Fjordbach. But you've also got Frankie Cheng and Alex Jung working their way back into the equation, and they will be very tough over the coming round at Sepang.